So everybody's been talking about this thing called AI, artificial intelligence, and how it's going to revolutionize the world, change everything. Oh no, are we going to have jobs? Is it going to enhance our jobs? Is it going to increase our pay? Is it going to lower our pay? Who knows? I certainly don't know. But you know what? Let's go and dive into that a little bit deeper, and let's try to get to a little bit of understanding of what we might potentially be able to do when we're dealing with this thing called AI. Welcome back to another episode of John the PM, where we believe that managing projects is not just a job, but a way of life. Like I alluded to a few minutes ago, we're going to talk about AI, artificial intelligence, what it can mean for you. The key takeaway, just bottom line up front, basically, is that do not be afraid and go ahead and embrace it, learn it, understand it, move forward. It is here. It is going to stay. There's nothing we can do about it. So let me reiterate that last point first. It is here. There's nothing we can do. Some people have heard this story from me. I was flying back from Colorado, doing a workshop out there, and then it's a long flight for those who have, been on that kind of a flight before. As normal, what I usually do is I try to interview people, talk to people, try to see what's happening in their world. Well, there's an individual to my right, individual is a little bit younger. There was an individual to my left. That individual was a little bit older. I turned to the individual on my right, and I asked the individual, I said, hey, well, what do you think about this thing called AI? Now, this was when it just literally just was publicized, back a couple of years ago. And that individual, they just kind of dug in their heels and said, it's never taken over my job. I was like, whoa. And in fact, because the individual was younger, I was kind of expecting a little bit the other way, like I'm going to embrace it. So be careful in making stereotypes, whether it's on purpose or not on purpose. Let's switch our attention to the individual that was to my left. And with that individual was a little bit older, and I, stereotypically, thought, well, obviously this individual, they're going to be really hesitant about it. Let me tell you, this individual, they really just went off on the thing and just how great it was. Wanted to show me all the greatest electronic gadgets and things of that nature. Just went into overload, how they were going to use it, yada yada yada. Again, another stereotype that was just blown out of the water. My initial thought, honestly, was that the individual on the right, being of the younger age, hadn't seen the internet, Facebook, all these other things that came, and I am of a certain age, and some people are of a certain age where they were at the forefront of these technology changes, evolutions. You learn over time that, hey, when the toothpaste is coming out of the tube, there's nothing you can do about it. You might as well just get on board and learn it really well. So that's what I did. They, really, put in a lot of time, effort, and energy in trying to better understand it. Why? Because as a project manager, there's a couple of things that are going to happen. One is regardless of the project, 99.99% of the time, I'm sure there's going to be one time out there where technology in and of itself will be utilized. So therefore, you need to be able to deal with technology. And well, guess what? There's another item that you will almost have to always deal with nowadays, with projects, and that's going to be AI, artificial intelligence. So us as project managers, us as leaders, we have to learn how to adapt to it, use it, for our benefit, Now, I did go through the PMI certification course, the CPMAI course, Certified Professional in Managing AI Projects. Let me tell you, it was actually it was actually a little bit of a challenge, but I learned a lot. I did it for two reasons, maybe three, but let's see how it comes out. The first one is that I just have an innate need to really kind of understand the domains that we are under. The other piece is, as a practicing practitioner, again, I'm going to realize that a lot of my clients that they are going to have to deal with AI. So, I needed to be able, setting the example, of really trying to understand how do you actually manage these types of projects, And then, as we build it up within the company, within our training company, so that we can offer it as a class, to other, individuals who wish to reskill, upskill their capability and capacity. And I can almost guarantee that it is going to be a necessity because, again, pretty much all projects, as we kind of continue on, is eventually going to involve some form of artificial intelligence. A couple of things that really kind of stuck out to me. One was really kind of understanding what the business case for implementing the tool. What is it that you really want to get from it? What is the ROI? Now, I do completely understand why some organizations will just say, use it. And one of the reasons why is just so that they can kind of see where it goes, on that side. I would probably take a little bit more strategic approach to it, or start small, think big, and iterate often. Another thing that you really need to be mindful of is the ethical issues and concerns and things of that artificial intelligence. Once you kind of like let it out, again, that toothpaste coming out of the tube, you're never exactly sure where it's going to land. So you need to have those ethical, guidelines in place. Okay. Hopefully you liked that session. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps us to be a service back to you. And in the meantime, may all of your projects be highly successful.